Corey Brooks, how you doing today?
Billy, I'm doing good, man. Thank you and bless you. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Well, today is the 100th day that you have been on top of a roof camping out in Chicago. And this is a story we've covered at CBN News and at FaithWire. But I want to ask, for those who don't know, and then we're going to get into what is going on now and what's going to happen moving forward. But what is it that led you to stay on this roof for 100 days, by the way, in frigid, cold weather?
Well, what led to it is the fact that, our community is riddled with violence and crime and a lot of murder. I wanted to bring attention and awareness to that. I never want people to be desensitized toward what's going on in our community. But secondly, I wanted to make sure that we raised enough money, as much as possible, to build this community center that costs $35 million that we believe is essential to help us to change the lives of a lot of people who live in this neighborhood and to totally transform this neighborhood.
So you're trying to transform the neighborhood, and you have raised, correct me if I'm wrong, $10 million during the last 100 days, correct?
Yeah, it's been 100 days of we've been tremendously blessed, and we're really grateful. We've raised $10 million. That's with cash, in-kind gifts, and commitments. So we're really grateful for that. And when we started, we were at zero. So here we are 100 days later, and we got $10 million toward our project.
What does that feel like? I mean, because you have said, I want to give people the context. Last time you and I talked a couple of months back, you were in the middle of this. It's been 100 days. You have sacrificed time with your family. And this is something God was calling you to. That's why you did it. But you sacrificed time with your family. Holidays were missed. This was a major living in the cold in a tent on a roof. What does it feel like to know that because of that, you've raised that 10 million?
Yeah, it's been tremendous. It's joy and pain. It's bittersweet. The joy is we raised $10 million. That's tremendous. That's a miracle that we have that money toward our project. And the joy is that we have people from all across America, believers from all across America, who are contributing toward our effort. And I'm really grateful for that. The pain and the bitterness of it is that we still have to continue staying on the roof to finish the task, and that I still have to stay away from my family and not participate in things at my church. That's the pain of it. But I realize there's such an urgency and there's such a dire need in our community for what needs to happen, uh, that I'm willing to go through the pain and the bitterness to make sure that I help bring joy to a lot of other people and joy to our community.
So I want to emphasize that because you made this announcement today. This is February 28th, and last time we talked, this was the day you were going to come down from the roof. That you are going to stay on the roof. Now, is your plan to stay until you get the 35 million?
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. We need $35 million. That's what the center costs. I wish it was a lot cheaper. I wish $10 million could get it done, but it doesn't. It's a 89,000 square foot facility, and we're living in Chicago, and that's what buildings cost. So I'm going to be here. I don't know how. It could be a week. It could be a month. It could be 6 months. It could be another year. I don't know. But however long it takes, I'm going to stay right here until we have every single penny.
I have to tell you, in an era in which we get frustrated when Starbucks doesn't heat our coffee up enough, to have somebody stay on a roof for 10 days, 100 days, and then to say you're going to stay there and do it until the job is done, that is such a rare commitment that we see today. What is it that drives you?
One, I want God to really get the glory from this. I tell our church all the time, we live in a neighborhood that needs to see the power of God. We live in a neighborhood that needs to see miracles. We live in a neighborhood that needs to see people who are committed toward changing it and who love the community for what it is. But we love it too much to let it stay the way that it is. And so that's what drives me every single day. I have this crazy passion to want to please God. I have a crazy passion to want to see God get the glory out of this. And I have a crazy passion to wanting to see people have opportunities to have a better life.
What has been for you the hardest part? I want to start there. We'll start with the negative, but the hardest part of being on this roof for 100 days.
The hardest part is being away from family. Right before I came up on the roof, 3 weeks before, my oldest daughter had our first grandchild, and having to bring the baby up here to see me in the tent, I enjoyed it, but I was like, oh man, I'm losing valuable time that with a grandchild that I'll never be able to get back. That is tough. Um, Being down on the ground, I've missed some family birthdays, and even though I've been there virtually, it's not the same. I've missed some family. I missed some funerals at church, some weddings at church, some baby dedications at church. And when you're a pastor who loves people like I do, and I love my church, being away from those experiences can be frustrating.
Yeah, that's hard. I mean, that's really hard. And I think people can relate to that, not totally because they not to what you're going through, but coming off of COVID and it's still going
Yeah.
on, but the separation that people had, how difficult that is. You're separated from everyone, right? While you're doing this. Now people come to you, as you said, and you've had business owners, celebrities, you've invited people to come up to that roof with you, to talk with you. And I know that that's helped raise money and opened eyes. But what have you learned through that process? Because a lot of it is you educating other people, but I'm curious what you've learned as you've done that and had those conversations.
It's been a really big blessing having so many CEOs to come to the rooftop and college presidents. We've had the president of Warner University, the president of Moody Bible Institute, two Christian colleges. Having those individuals be on this roof and sharing their vast knowledge of systems and structures and strategies, man, has been rewarding, especially when our goal is to scale what we're trying to do. Hearing their insight, seeing how they approach things, especially as it relates to raising money. I've shared with a few of them my difficulty that I've experienced in the past of asking people for large sums of money. But they've helped me through that. They've coached me through that. And so it's been very rewarding.
Well, I mean, this is amazing. Now, if people are watching this right now, and I want to remind them, you got a hat on. What's the temperature today there?
23 degrees today.
Man, 23 degrees. So, I mean, you have really sacrificed a lot for this. If people are watching, if they're interested in giving or helping or connecting, where can they go to do that?
They can go to Project H.O.O.D, that's H-O-O-D, projecthood.org, and they can find out all the wonderful things about our organization, the programs, and they can find out about this campaign as well.
Corey, thank you so much for all you do. And we're going to be checking in with you again. I so appreciate you taking the time today, and we're going to be praying for you on this journey.
Thank you so very much, and I appreciate it. And I'll be here so you can reach me anytime.